What's up, everybody? My name is Stephen A. Smith from ESPN, and you're watching HoopJab.com. Check it out.
I'm here with Cari Champion. First off, I want to congratulate you on your new position. We're going to miss you very much on First Take, but
I miss you too. I'm already sad.
Thank you. What brings you out here tonight?
I actually wanted to come out. I'm here for the ESPYs, and I'm working the pre-show and the red carpet show, and I wanted to support Holly. She's a good friend of mine. I met her on the show, and she's been very supportive and always there for me, and I wanted to come out and support her and obviously promote the ESPY events. Why do you,
this event is focusing on education. Why do you think events like this are important?
Well, anything that has to do with educating, a community, a group of people, whomever, is something that's really invaluable. You can't put a price on education. And so many times we're supporting different things and we don't know why we're here. We don't know why we're giving a hand. But this is something that's really near and dear to Holly and her husband. And so I feel as if they're the example. When you think of philanthropists and people who really give back to the community and know what's right, I think of them. Obviously I don't have a relationship with her husband in terms of friendship, but when I think of someone who always wants to do better, empower, and educate, I think of Holly.
Do you have any of charity events that you work on by yourself?
I do a lot of different events, but more so in terms of one-on-one. I'm really big on mentoring young girls. I feel like you have to start with one to educate many. I always use the philosophy of I'd like to be the first of a few, the pioneer of a many. And so I really take on mentorships very, very seriously. I have several girls that I mentor just on my own. I bring them up to Bristol. I communicate with them. A lot of them think they, want to be in our business. They think that they want to be in front of the camera, and it looks so easy and glamorous, but there's so much more to what we do, as you well know. And so it's a huge priority for me not to just talk about presentation and being a part of this business. It's about who you are, and if you do have a voice, using your voice for good. So that's usually one of the things I'm really focused on.
That's great. Now, Cari, I got to ask you about the Lakers. Seems like you guys struck out in free agency once again.
So do you want to keep this interview going? You want to keep this interview going? You're going to bring up my Lakers, knowing that we are in a lot of trouble. I recently did a podcast. I have my own podcast. It's called Be Honest. Download on iTunes and on ESPN radio app. And I talked about the fact that, and I've had Jeannie on, and I love her, but we're in trouble. We struck out during free agency, and prior to free agency, word on the street was that there were a lot of really well-known players, whether they were old or veterans or right on the cusp, wanted to come to Los Angeles. And there's this narrative that Kobe's responsible for people not wanting to be there, and I don't believe that wholeheartedly. I think it's a combination of things that are going on in the front office, as well as people not really seeing the investment and coming to the Lakers. And LA and New York are no longer the destinations. Like, you want to go someplace where you can really, truly get along with your coworkers on the court and off the court. I think LeBron has created that in Cleveland. I think that's, obviously evident in San Antonio. Coach Pop, you got to buy in if you live there and be on that team. And Coach Pop is really big about getting people who are very humble and being okay with living in San Antonio, because I've been there, and no offense, it's just basketball, so you have to be there to play ball. So I'm bummed about our Lakers. We are an impatient generation, impatient fan base, and we want to win soon, and we want to win now, and we want to win yesterday, because we were always in the conversation, and we're spoiled. We're spoiled. Why? When are we not in the conversation? So it's hard for me to watch us go through this process, but I mean, I will never leave. I'm truly a diehard Laker fan, and I'll just be patient. I don't know how to do that. I'm learning, though.
What do you think the Lakers and the front office have to do in order to make this an attractive destination again?
I think they need a plan. I feel like, my colleague Brian Windhorst was the first to say it, and people gave him a hard time, but I feel like we're archaic. I feel like we don't know what it means to be at the forefront of basketball. Showtime doesn't exist anymore. Sad to say, but it doesn't. So we need to reinvent Showtime in a way that we speak to these millennials, that we speak to these young social generation. This generation of basketball players are social more than ever. They express themselves. They're on Twitter. They're getting themselves in trouble. They're tweeting things to Kobe they shouldn't be tweeting. This is the generation that we're in right now. And if we don't embrace that generation, we can teach them old school mentality. We can teach them to play like Jordan. We can teach them to play like Kobe and Magic. But we have to realize that this is a new generation. And if we are not prepared to embrace that generation and learn the way they want to play ball and what's important to them off the court as well as on the court, we're in a world of trouble. So I don't know if that means, hiring someone young and being a part of that type of, that new philosophy, but we got to get there. We don't have any leadership, point blank. That's the end of the story.
I'm really enjoying how you're breaking down basketball. We didn't get to really see you do that too much on First Take, but
you now get your opportunity when you can see me on SportsCenter, so I get to do that as well, yeah.
So do you have a prediction on who's going to win it all next year?
If I had to think, it's so early, guys. So I reserve the right to change my opinion, but I would say it would be San Antonio. Easy.
Thanks a lot, Cari. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.